At the time of Sandy, I was Special Assistant to the Commissioner of Human Services, and the role of our department is mass care and sheltering. So we convened at the State Police Center, and we really started to coordinate how would people be served as they had to evacuate their homes. What kinds of supplies did they need? All kinds of putting together all the different places people would stay, what resources we had to assemble for them. And it was a big coordinated effort. We really worked across all the departments, really figuring out what everybody had to offer and how do we bring it all together in one place to serve everybody. The Rock was a very interesting place, and I had been there before, but certainly not at the level of activation that we were for Sandy. And it was amazing because everybody you needed was in one place. So our NGOs were represented there. All the other departments were represented there. Our federal partners were represented there. And so you could really make connections with people right there on the spot. If you needed something from the Red Cross, if you needed something from FEMA, you just had to walk across the floor and find them. We had partners from other states that came in to lend assistance. Places like Florida, New Orleans. They came up from all these different places to help us in navigating through the storm. The night when Sandy was actually impacting New Jersey, one of my thoughts was, how are we going to help people? Because clearly it seemed that the roads were going to be blocked. How were we going to get to where we needed to be in order to assemble ourselves and marshal the resources? So one of my thoughts was transportation, and just from a personal perspective, just getting somewhere where we could actually then come together to start our work. I remember taking a drive to the beach so I could go for a run, sort of as a stress reliever, clear my head, think about the things that we were planning. And I remember just being so taken aback and like really stopped in my tracks as I looked at the boardwalks that were no longer there that I had run on every weekend in Monmouth County. And I remember taking a lot of pictures and seeing things that were upside down. In Avon by the Sea, where we used to buy our beach badges, the actual beach badge house was upside down. The restrooms were upside down. The lampposts were all scattered across the beach. And I remember I just couldn't believe it. It was just unbelievable to me that this devastation had taken place. I think one of the greatest programs that we actually offered to people who were impacted was Hope and Healing. And watching the people who were part of Hope and Healing, and people who will remember this, they were out in neon-colored sweatshirts and vests. And the people were so approachable, and the residents were so welcoming and so happy to have someone they could talk to, someone they could vent to, somebody they can just sort of unload on. And just seeing this sea of people who were there out where everybody congregated. So even if you were on the boardwalk, if you were at the Dunkin' Donuts, if you went somewhere, that there was somebody you recognized, and they were so noticeable, that they were such a help to people. And I think since Hope and Healing, as it wound down, people still talk about it, and they still talk about all these good people who were out there helping them, or where they were, meeting people where they were, and I thought that was so important. I think people were very motivated, not just motivated for themselves, but I thought they were motivated for their communities. And that was really amazing to see, because when they would gather, it wasn't just about them personally, it was about their community and how could they all come together and all become more resilient and all recover together. So that was really striking. I think sometimes it's hard for people to see what goes on behind the scenes, but they should know that there's people there that are so dedicated to continued recovery, and that every day we are thinking about the programs that we have in place, how can we make them better, and how can we help everybody to recover.